wheel, got the tires removed yesterday. I'm going to be removing the wheel bearings. There's actually a technique of doing this, and the hands are dirty. I'll try to, get it recorded and stuff. It's kind of difficult because I don't have like a stand or anything. So we got the wheel here. Like I said, you want to start on the side where your brake rotor mounts up. So you have your dust shield right here. So you take your puller, put it in. I'm going to try to watch out the camera angle. And then you just pull it and the dust shield pops right on out. So you can just lay that aside. By the way, I forgot to mention, I bought it's called All Balls, is the wheel bearing manufacturer. They're really popular. They come with everything. The bearings you need, the seals, everything's new. So it works out pretty good. So what I like to do at this point is you can take a little rag and just kind of wipe off any excess grease if you need to get like a better contact point, so you can pop the bearing and spacer out. And when you start popping the bearing out, what you want to do, because you don't want to damage the inner races of the wheel, is you want to knock it like one side, like top bottom kind of deal, like evenly. You don't want to just tap it on one side, because then it'll could damage the races, on that particular side. So they do have a special tool for installation and removal, but if you read online, anybody will tell you that you can just do the big flathead screwdriver plus a couple of hammers. So we'll get on that. Alright guys, so I used the screwdriver at first, but as you can see here, my screwdriver wasn't long enough. So I started hitting the top of the bearing. Shouldn't have damaged anything. So I found this little punch that I had. So if you guys you're gonna either need a longer screwdriver where the fat end doesn't start until later, or just something longer metal punch. So you just tap on the wheel bearing evenly on both sides. Like I said, here goes the spacer. Try not to hit the spacer at all. I nicked it right there on top. I don't know if you can see it, but it's mainly just grease that kind of piled up right there. So I'm going to I might sand that down. And then here goes the old bearing. It's no good. So like I said, you just take these, toss them in the trash. As you can see, this one that is like open, the new ones, I was looking at them, they're sealed all the way around. So this is like a older style bearing. I mean, they still use them, so they're open on one side, but the ones I got are completely sealed on both sides. But if you get these type of replacement bearings, which are the Suzuki ones, recommended you repack them more. Recommended that you pack them more, because they usually don't have that much grease inside of them, because they don't want them like super packed when they ship them. But if you look at the ones that I have right here, actually sealed on both sides. They have one of those seals on both sides. So, and those are the All Balls, and that's what most people use anyway. So now that the spacer and the bearing's out, we're gonna go ahead and take this other bearing out, and then that wheel will be ready to get powder coated. Well, we got to take the valve stem out, but that's real basic, and take this wheel weight off. Like I said, you want to take any weights, anything off, so they can sandblast and powder. If you're taking it to a place that doesn't really sandblast wheels or doesn't really powder coat wheels, make sure you tell them that in here really doesn't matter too much if they blast, but you don't want them sandblasting inside where your spacer goes. So try to get them to cover this hole up with something before, or avoid, you're gonna get a little bit of excess sand in there that can be cleaned out, but you just don't want them actually spraying the sandblaster in that hole. So make sure that you tell them that, because some places don't know. They don't really do car parts or something like that. They do like industrial size parts. So you don't want them messing up that inside surface area where your spacer goes. So yeah, we'll pop this side out, and then we'll move on to the front wheel. So one thing I forgot to mention, when you start the pop, like I already got the second bearing out. As you can see in there, you can see the two inner races. When you start to pop out the bearing, after the spacer's been removed, be very, very careful not to scratch up on the inside with your tool. Make sure you're actually on top of the old bearing, and you're tapping on the actual bearing itself. You don't want to tap on the inside and scratch it, because that can actually cause your spacer to get damaged. when you install it, if there's like a bird or something that I get caught up to, and probably can cause premature bearing failure. Okay, this is the front wheel. The front has 2 dust shields, 1 on each side. The back only has 1 on the inside because the other one is on your, forgot what that piece is called, but on the other piece where your chain connects to and your sprocket connects to the wheel, it's on that side. So one thing I forgot to mention, this is why I kept the old tire, so you have that gap in between. If you have something else at home, you don't have to, but if you're getting your tires removed and replacing your bearings, if you're replacing your bearings without a spare tire, you're going to need something to keep it lifted up so that you can get it out. And then if you're doing it, if you're getting your tires replaced, or if you already had your tires replaced or you're about to do it as well, keep like your rear tire so you can sit on top, have something you can lay on so it doesn't hit the ground. So yeah, I'm gonna try to show you guys this as I do it. So basically this goes in, like I said, be careful with the spacer. You want to make sure you're on the, like right there, that's the lip of the bearing. And at first, because you don't have very much leverage, it's gonna kind of slip off, but as long as you can get a good tap on it one time, you should be fine. So you're gonna put this in. So yeah, you're just gonna do that, and until the bearing pops out, 1 on each side, just a little nice little light taps. You don't need to like drill it out. And then just like the other one, then like I said, the wheel weights and the valve stem comes off like the rear wheel, and then you can go get them powder coated. If you're getting the wheels painted instead, I don't believe you need to take the wheel bearings out because it's just paint, but verify with the people that are painting them. So if you have somebody that can paint, I'm pretty sure you can just tape off what you need. They'll roughen up the surface, sanding or whatever they do, and then they'll go ahead and paint it, because painting doesn't have to be put in like a 400-degree oven like powder coating does. So, but powder coating is going to give you a better finish. It's going to look more like wet paint if the person knows what they're doing, and it's going to last a lot longer. So, alrighty.